back to the channel. Today we are working on the Hellcat. I am finishing a bunch of little random things that I've been putting off. So when I rebuilt this car, it is all now back together. It looks really good, but I rebuilt it from the firewall forward. So I had to remove all of the interior so I could get all the spot welds out, etc. When I did that, I removed the dash, I removed all the pedals and assemblies. When I removed the brake pedal, I knew it at the time. I was like, oh no, it felt like I overextended the little sensor. But that being said, it was fine for, I don't know, a few hundred miles. And then it just went to, it just went downhill really quick. So I have a new sensor. I'll put the part in the description. They're pretty easy to change. They're right there. It's just kind of a little gate sensor. When the sensor's bad, it won't let you get into 700 horsepower. It won't let the cruise control work. It doesn't let a bunch of stuff work. So let's get to work replacing the sensor so we don't have this check engine light on anymore. The code is a P0572. So if you have that code, most likely you need one of these sensors. So to get to the sensor, I had to drop this piece of trim on the bottom of the steering column. To drop this, you have to remove the door sill molding so you can get to this screw right here and then this screw up here. You also have to remove this little fascia right here. It's right there. So once you have that removed, it's pretty simple and straightforward. The sensor is right there, right in front of us. So you just have to unplug that plug. There's one 7mm screw, and this hole is pretty large. So even I can stick my hand in there. I'm gonna have to say this is the easiest brake sensor I have ever replaced. This sensor replacement was very well thought through. So there is literally a slot up there. Let me zoom in and show you guys. Let me stick my phone up here so it kind of lights the area up, and then I'll just go over it with my phone or with the camera. There's a slot right there. All you have to do is unscrew the screw maybe 7 to 8 turns and it just slips right out. This was the easiest thing I have done on this car, I think. So what I'm gonna do now, throw this one in. Actually, I'm gonna screw the screw in about the same so I don't have to do as many turns. But yeah, let's get this bad boy in and we should have our issue solved pretty easily. Probably the easiest sensor I've ever replaced in a car. It was like 10 minutes of my life. And the location of it, for how quick it was very well thought through. So this is a 10 out of 10 for engineering and Dodge, because I mean, it couldn't have been any easier to replace that sensor. So let's warm the Hellcat up and go over to the junkyard, get the under splash trays on, get the sway bar on, get all that stuff back on the car. So then she'll be 100% complete. Hellcat's on the 4-post. What I'm gonna do is actually put the sway bar under here, as well as put the splash shield that goes underneath the car. But as you can see, once that's on, all of this stuff will be nice and connected, and it'll just be really, really nice because it won't have a big open spot and air will flow as it's supposed to. So we have everything now put together under the car. The sway bar is on, the splash shield's on, everything is bolted on. I'm really glad that the sway bar's on. Now, let's see how she drives, because it was just kind of weird driving it. It felt like, because the tires are 305s, just kind of felt like the tires each wanted to kind of go their own way walking. And I think that the sway bar kind of helps out when you have a lot wider tires like this car does. So let's drop her off the lift. Well, I guess not drop her off the lift. Let's not say that. Let's pull her off the lift and then take her for a drive. instead of working on a car the whole entire video, not having any fun. Well, I mean, working on cars sometimes is fun, but I built the Magnum to have fun. What we're gonna do in this video, I need to first get these wheel locks off. So I have tried and tried with no success. I didn't want to have to weld on them, but I decided what I'm gonna do is slip a pipe over the lug, then weld the inside so I don't damage the wheel, then weld a nut on the top of the pipe, and then be able to put a wrench on it. Before I do that, I need to head over to Dodge I need to get 4 lugs for this car, and I think I need to get 2 to remove the 2 off of the Hellcat. Also, what I want to do is I want to test fit the Hellcat wheels on this car, or at least one of them, just to kind of see what the stance is with the offset and everything. I'm not sure if it's gonna push it too far out or what it's gonna do. So it'll just be really cool to see the wide body wheels on this, or one wheel on this car, just to kind of get reference to how wide these cars actually are, because I feel like they're very, very similar in width to the Hellcat wide bodies and the new Charger wide bodies. So let's get this thing warmed up. Let's get over to Dodge. Let's get all this stuff done and then have some fun with the Magnum. Just got over to Dodge with the Magnum. I'm gonna go run in and grab some lug nuts. I'm just gonna order the lugs offline. They wanted $15 a piece for them. Able to get these lug nuts off of the Magnum. I ended up having to actually weld them, and then I just started welding them because I ran out of nuts together. So now I have all the locking lug nuts off of the Magnum. It was pretty sketchy doing it, but surprisingly enough, it doesn't look like the wheel or the coating was damaged. Even the plastic caps don't seem like they're damaged. So what I'm gonna do now, I have the hose out. I drove through some mud and I don't have any fender liners in this thing. So I'm going to actually just use the hose, wash out the engine bay and everything, just kind of clean it up a little bit. Threw one of the Hellcat wheels on the Magnum, and it looks like it needs an extra 30 mil. It's looks like it's about 30 mil wider than the Hellcat wide body. So I was hoping that these flares right here were actually the same, width as the Hellcat, but I guess they're not. So I was just wanting to test fit these because they do look so much better than these SRT wheels. But the good thing is now I have all the lugs off, and I was actually finally able to remove the wheels so I could do the brakes eventually. Finally back home. It was a very fun day. Was able to drive the Hellcat, was able to drive the Magnum, was able to do some donuts and some burn-offs, and it was a good day. So I was able to finish up all the little miscellaneous stuff on the Hellcat: sway bar, splash shield, closeouts, all the random stuff that I was just wanting to finish up on it. One thing, the sway bar, the addition of it makes a car very, very, a lot more stable, a lot more controllable. It doesn't have this tendency. Before, it felt like each tire kind of wanted to do its own thing. Now it's very, very firm. When I come around a turn with the back end out, it just, it's just there. It's where you want it to be. It's very responsive. It's a lot more responsive than it was without the sway bar. And yeah, it's just so much fun. I wanted to do some donuts in this car, but we were able to do some donuts in the Magnum, legal donuts, which was very, very cool. So there's a guy I met that owns a dispensary, and he was like, "You want to do some donuts in my parking lot?" I was like, hell yeah. So we did some donuts at the Magnum. It seems like he wants to do like a collaboration thing. So there may be some stuff in the future. He kind of wants to have an event during the summer once all this stuff's over with, and maybe we could do like a burn off or a donut competition, something like that. Maybe set something up. Just have to kind of you know, talk about it, figure out what we're gonna do. And I'll link the dispensary in the description. Pretty cool dude. And yeah, I'm just pretty excited. I was able to do some legal donuts in the Magnum, do some burn offs in the Hellcat, and just kind of just have some, you know, really good, clean fun today. So if you like these videos, subscribe button, click it, thumbs up, comment below. See you guys next time.